So we're going to talk about this today. I'm going to be putting the starter in. I cleaned it up. I found out, by doing these, the easiest way to attach the starter is to actually take it out. So I took it out, attached the ground cables and starter cable. So I'll be putting that in. And here's the hours. So you can see 310.9. I said it's a baby. Now, what I want to talk to you about with it, the story behind it is, I gotta sit down. The story behind it is, I have been doing work for this guy for probably about 6 years, and he always brought it to me, tune-ups and whatnot, any problems with the PTO, oil changes, blade sharpening and balancing, replacing the tires, and he kept pulling the wires out for the PTO when he would back off his trailer, because it's pretty low. I told him he needs to back onto his trailer so he can pull off forward. That way it wouldn't hurt it. And I tucked the wires up underneath, and I don't know how he did it, but he kept pulling the wires out. And I made it a quick release so it doesn't destroy the PTO. So apparently he didn't like that it kept happening to him, so he decided he was going to take it to a professional shop. I'm not going to mention the shop's name because, and it was during COVID, and he ended up, they lost most of their mechanics. So they had this young, probably 21, 22-year-old kid working on this stuff, and he just destroyed almost everything. So we were all at that point at one time, you know what I mean? The kid had this big Ingersoll Rand impact to use to get off the PTO, and he had it the wrong way, and he kept hammering it. That's what the guy told me that owns the shop, and he eventually broke it off in the crankshaft. Now, the crankshaft for this is really expensive. I'm not sure of a price, but somewhere around $250, $300. So, and they couldn't find it. They couldn't find it, for my guy I do work for. And it sat there for like 6 months, where they were trying to figure out what they were going to do with it. And he eventually came over to me. He's like, "Yeah, you remember that snapper, the zero turn that I have?" I'm like, "Yeah. What's up?" He told me the story. I'm like, I just shook my head. Like, "Why the hell did you bring it to a shop? You should have brought it to me. I would have had it done in about a day." I learned my lesson, blah, 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 whatever, man. So he ended up, I went over with him to pick it up, and the engine was unbolted from the frame, and all the wires undone, the cables undone. It was just in shambles. And they had a nerve to charge him $175 for a storage fee. Can you imagine? They break his machine, and they charge him storage fee. Oh, the place is a joke. I tell my people local, I said, "Do not bring your stuff there, bring it to me." So I got it, and I told him how much it was going to cost for me to replace it, fix it, and it might not be fixed. You know what I mean? I might not be able to get it out of the crankshaft, the snap bolt. So I told him roughly $250, maybe $300 worth of work, because I had to take the engine, off. It was already off, but I had to take it off and fix it. And he didn't like that price, so I told him, I was like, "Hey, I'll tell you what." I was like, "If I can find you another zero turn cheaper than it would be to fix this one, would you give me this one? In turn, I would give you a season of free service. No labor charge. Charge for parts, of course, but no labor charge." He's like, "Okay, yeah, no problem." So it became mine. Now, it sat for about a year, so I can get room to fix it. And I finally got it into my front shop, It was sitting outside under a tarp for about a year, maybe year and a half, year and 6 months, something like that. And I was finally able to get it into here because I have a big gate that I pull everything into the front right here. And I have, I have that up there so nobody can get in. But that's how I came to acquire this and doing the work on it now. All I have to do, like I said, is put the starter in, put the battery in, and we'll give it a start here in a little bit and see what happens. See you in a bit. Okay, starter's back in. Not too hard to do. It had a spacer, or a washer, I should say, on the one side. There you go. Now I'm going to hook up the battery, and we'll see what happens. I'm going to give it a test start, see if everything spins and works right, and I don't have to do anything else. We'll see what happens. Just want to make a note here. Glad I checked. There's no oil in it. I had already drained it. But it turns out the oil filter was almost completely off. I'm glad I checked it. But yeah, I changed the oil filter while I was at it. But wow. That shop is a mess. Okay, battery is in. I know it's only a U1, 230, but it's just for testing. We need to get a bigger battery for it. We had a little problem with the wiring. One of the safety switches, if not all the safety switches, were screwed up. So Henry and I from Mowers and Blowers discussed it and decided, cut the yellow, and then that goes over to the trigger wire for the starter. There's that right there. I'm not going to put it on yet. Then I had to cut the white wire. What a nightmare. So yeah, in order to gain access to that debris down there, or debris, as Musty One would say, had to take the starter back out. Had to take that back off. So we're going to see how this works. See if everything goes on. The problem I was having, would engage the PTO for the blades, and the engine would shut off. I'd engage these, and the engine would shut off. I would have released the emergency brake, and the engine would shut off. That had no effect to it. Okay, so I'm going to get this all buttoned back up again, and I'll bring you back. It'll be a few seconds for you, about probably a half hour for me. See you then. All buttoned back up. Wire's back on. I plugged the seat guy back in just to get out of the way. So we're going to give it a start here, a couple minutes, and I'll bring you back. Okay, here we go. I'm going to give her a start here. Up the RPM. We're going to try the handle too. Let's go one-handed. There's that one. And we're going to try the blades. Up the RPM here. That works. Talk about it a little bit here in a second. Okay, let's do a final talk about this. It's all buttoned up. It's running. I'm going to run it for a little while, change the oil again. I'm going to adjust the valves. Also, I got to adjust the sticks because this side here, this tire there, is faster than this tire. So I have to adjust everything. That tire there has got a slow leak in it. I'm going to use Henry's automatic transmission fluid, or ATF, trick on it. I already used the ATF trick many times and it works perfect. So, like I said, I'm going to clean it up, make it look new, because I'm keeping it. It's mine, so it's not going anywhere. The thing is a beast. And then let me see. As for the Time Master, and my tools are everywhere because I have to work on this thing. The toolbox was sitting here, so I have to rearrange everything again. But as for the Time Master, I'm still waiting on parts. Can you imagine? But I found another top from the Craftsman. I like the colors of it, so I put it on. Better condition than the one was on it. And if you look, where the rope comes out of it has this handle instead, and it's like reinforced here, so it doesn't fall apart as bad as the Time Master one. So then I'm still waiting on parts for it to button everything up. As soon as I get the parts, it should be here tomorrow, if not Saturday. But oh my God, eReplacementParts.com, they are so slow on their shipping, because it seems like they don't have anything in stock. It's like a go-between between say Toro Manufacturing Company and them, so they have to order the parts. I could do that, you know, come on, it's ridiculous. But this little guy here, it's got, like I said, dual tanks, and they're full, and the gas is fine. There's nothing wrong with the gas because it's like sealed, so I won't have to do anything with it. I gotta clean up my shop, as you can see. I'll give a shop tour one of these days when I have it cleaned up. But we'll forget to turn off the fuel. Like I said, it's got dual tanks, so it has a switch. But everything's buttoned up in it. Like I said, I'm also going to drain the hydraulics and change the filter at the same time, because you have to with this one, this particular model. You have to. The only way you can drain the hydros is to take the filter off. So I'm going to take the filter off and go from there. But the funny part was, let me tell you the funny part. I'm sitting there and I'm engaging the sticks, and nothing's happening. Well, down in here, you have this little rod right here. See this rod right here? You pull that back, that disengages the hydros. Each side, it's the same. There's one here, and there's one down here. Right there. They were disengaged. But yeah, it's a nice little machine, I'll tell you that. I gotta do Henry's trick here with the duct tape as well, because I'm not gonna, if I do buy one, it's gonna be the one from Harbor Freight with the armrest. But that might get in the way of the PTO switch, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna do that or not. I'm also gonna replace these, because you're supposed to be able to see how much fuel's in your tank on each side. This one you can see it a little bit, but I might try to shine them up and see if I can get them to come back again, but I doubt it. Because what happens is the fuel inside the tank, the vapors, actually melt these. Makes it so that you can't see. Or just not care about it and figure it out. I got to replace the fuel filter down there. Air filter is good, didn't have to do that. But other than that, I have to adjust the choke. It's not pulling all the way on choke. So I have to adjust that. It's been fun. Like I said, I'm not done with it yet. But as for videos right now, coming into the busy season for my mobile business, and like today I had 3 calls, plus I did this. And then tomorrow I have 1. Friday I have 1. And Saturday is a beast. I got to replace front tires and rear tires, both sides. Drive belt and deck belt. The guy wants everything done on it. And tune up, oil change. I think he has blades. I don't remember. But I had him order a whole bunch of stuff, and everything came in. It's a Husqvarna Zero Turn. Not as beefy as this bad boy, I'll tell you that. Thinking about naming her, just not sure of a name yet. But it's been fun. A couple years in the making here, but I got her done. Hey, thanks for joining me, and catch you on the next one. See ya. And an extra clip, my wife Rosie, she brought this home today. This thing is huge. It is a Troy-Bilt Pony rear tine tiller, 5 horsepower. It pulls. Gas in it's pretty old, but I'll get it done. Oh, here comes Pussycat. That's Pumpkin. Pumpkin. Hey, babies.